Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer and I'm still playing Shadows of Brimstone. So during the last turn we made it now into the other world, into the swamps of Yargono. We went here from this underground lake through the gate over there and ended up here exploring the first two tiles of the swamps. And nothing too dramatic happened. We had to kill one single swamp slasher here, but that wasn't such a big deal. Actually, we found a few cool weapons: the Dead Man's Iron and the repeating rifle. Sadly, there is no really great way to use them all together, so that's I gave them all now to the gunslinger, but he has to change between them depending on what he prefers to use. So it's not the best solution, but I think for my combination of characters it might be the best solution. Okay, in addition, we have finally found our first clue token here. So 2 more clues and we can fight the final epic battle. Now let's roll for the depth track. That begins to become a problem. The green one is here on a 9 and we need an 8 or more to hold it back from moving on. And that was definitely not enough. So now it's here and we have to draw another darkness card. Flood of bats. A black tide of bats pours through the cavern, engulfing the heroes and passing by. Each hero takes 2 horror hits, gains 10 experience and must then pass a strength 4 test or lose 1 darkstone. Well, okay, that's not too bad, I guess. Now first let's do the horror hits. We start with the gunslinger. No problems here. The saloon girl. And she takes 1 horror hit. Or 1 sanity loss. And the marshal. Also 1 loss. And finally the preacher, and he's fine. Then we got to do this strength test, 4+. So let's see, this guy, he has a strength of 2, and yes, he's successful. The saloon girl only has a strength of 1, but well, she doesn't have a darkstone anyway, so I think it simply doesn't matter. The marshal has a strength of 2. Yeah, that's a success. And the preacher also has no darkstone. Fine, and then it's 10 experience for everyone. So I guess that was okay. So, and now the gunslinger starts moving. It's this guy right here, and maybe he can, yeah, there's a good chance to make it here. Needs a 4 to explore the next tile. That's a 6, that's pretty cool. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we gotta make some room for the next tile. I think I'm gonna simply remove all the mine tiles now. Okay, now we have actually a funny situation here. We've drawn this card here, the tribal altar, and this is this tile. But if I place it now like this, that would mean these 2 tiles would overlap. Now, usually I would remove this tile, but the problem is that this guy is still standing on that tile. So I think I will actually draw another tile. I'm not sure, but I guess that's what I'm gonna do. So let's see what the next map tile is. Okay, that is a T-junction passage, so that is definitely possible. By the way, this one moves, of course, on. So let's find that passage. Okay, now we ended up with this. And that fits now. So we're going to move the saloon girl. That is a 6. Well, I think I'm only going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I want to give the marshal the opportunity to catch up with the others. So now I'm going to try to scavenge this tile here. Nope. Now the marshal, let's hope he gets a good roll here. That is a 4. I guess that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he moves here. And although I'm not perfectly sure, I don't know, but I think I haven't scavenged this tile yet. There is only a marker here, so I'm going to try that with the marshal. And he's successful. So let's draw a card here and see what it is. Okay, so a small find. Wow, 10 experience, 50 bucks. Neat. And then finally the preacher. And now we can also place a marker here. Now this is a 1, which doesn't really help because he already has 2 grit. So I guess I'm gonna do a second roll here. So that's a 4 overall. 1, 2, 3, and yeah, I guess I'm gonna move here. And then I might actually scavenge that tile again, and well, unlucky here. So let's go to the next turn. Okay, the depth roll. Shit. It's not looking good. Seems like we'll be out of time pretty soon. A few more turns, but I don't know. Okay, and Gunslinger. Oh man. Well, that's a grit, which is fine. But then you can only move a step here. And you can try to scavenge. Yeah, that's a success actually. Okay, so oh, that's cool. Something shiny. Now let's roll a die. And that's a 6. That's very cool. Draw an artifact card. Let's see what we get here. Swamps of Yagono artifacts. Now, okay, a serpent skull helmet. So that is an armor, and that might be pretty useful. So let's see how much I can carry. I think we got 4 of that. Oops, shit. Okay, 4 of these, so I think that's not a problem right now. I think I can carry 2 of my strength plus 5 or something like that. But these 4 are, I guess, definitely not a problem. Okay, and 10 experience points. So let's place a marker there. Here we go. The Saloon Girl. Now this is a 5. That's yeah, that's enough to simply move one space and draw the next map tile. The Nest. Okay, well, looks dangerous. Let's see what we find there. Okay, let's place an exploration marker here. Then the Marshal. Shit. That's a 1. Gives him a grid token, which is good, but he's now a little behind actually. And the Preacher. That is a 6. Not sure if I want to move ahead here. I don't think so. I don't want to risk too much. Let's flip the exploration token. On the other hand, I could move. Is there a big difference? I don't know. I'm going to flip the token. Okay, that's an attack. We got 2 exits here and another clue token, so that's pretty cool. So let's see where we have a dead end. That's the first one. So the dead end is right here. Yep. Okay. And let's see what kind of enemy we have to face. Okay, now these are bog bats. Let's see how many and what type. That's a 3. Okay, so we have to face 6 bog bats. And they have a bog venom. A hero that takes 1 or more wounds from a bog bat combat hit also gains a poison marker. Okay. 20 experience each. Okay, so here we are. These are the 6 the bog bats. Now sadly, the gunslinger is out of range, so he has only a range of 6 with his pistol, so he cannot do this quick draw attack. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him this initiative boost, because that would allow him to go first. These bog bats, they have an initiative of 6, so usually they would be first because they have the same initiative as the gunslinger. But if this guy gives, he could do the holy speed. That costs 2 faith, and then the gunslinger could go first, which might be very useful. So let's see, we need a 7 or higher, and we have that easily. Very good. So now the gunslinger can go first. So he's got 2 grid, which might be useful. And let's see. That's a 4. But before, well, I can move actually. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I forgot to roll here on the depth track, so I'm going to do this right now. That is a 10, but we got twice a 5, so that means we got to check on this depth event chart. Terrifying Shriek. A shriek of pain and suffering echoes... Oh no, wait a second. We're going to take the other event chart now. Just a minute. Okay, so here we go. The tribal drums. In the distance, you hear the thundering war drums of a savage tribe. They're getting louder and louder with every step you take. Each hero in your Argono must discard 1 grid or take d6 sanity damage with no willpower saves. Well, that's tough, and I think I'm gonna discard a grid. She will do the same. We're all gonna discard a grid. That is pretty painful, but I think it's the best we can do here. Okay. So, yeah, that was this roll, and now we're gonna do the attack of the gunslinger. So he's going to do this dual wield now with the Deadman's Iron and the pistol. They have a defense of 2. These are demons and void creatures, which is a problem because that means, oh my goodness, all demon enemies are +1 combat, all void enemies are +1 combat, all void enemies are now +1 defense. So that is really kind of a problem. I mean, they have 5 combat dice now and 3 defense. That's tough. Anyway, I'm gonna try it. I got 5 dice, and I'm gonna take I'm gonna take the 3 shots with the Deadman's Iron with the black dice because they do an additional damage. No, but only to undead. So, yeah, they're not undead. Okay, so I can simply take the 5 dice instead. Okay. Now, let's hope for the best here. We need a 3 to hit. Okay. So I think I'm going to reroll that one. Okay. Now, these are no critical hits. And I'm going to re-roll these 3 dice. So I'm going to throw away that grid here. Okay, that was okay. We got 4 hits here. And remember, when we do this dual wielding, the critical hits don't count as critical hits. Anyway, 4 hits. So I give 2 of them to these and the other ones to them. So the first one, well, to kill one of these suckers we need to roll a 4 because they have a defense of 3. So let's try this one first. Okay, no effect here. Well, now I could spend, yeah, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to spend one of these, which then kills this one. The next one, that's a success, very good. And now these 2. First, this one. Okay. Yeah, damn it. I'm gonna give another one here away. I think that's really worth it. These suckers are pretty dangerous. And finally that one. Come on. Yeah, very good. A 5. That's enough. So I think that was worth these 2 bullets here. Okay, so we managed to kill 4, which then gives me 80 points. Okay, I realized now I should have rolled a die if these guys do a an ambush attack. But I think in the end it would not have made such a big difference. I guess they could have killed, the gunslinger could have killed them anyway. Maybe he would have been even able to use one of these, his quick draw, if they would have appeared right next to him. So I guess in this case I will cheat a little bit. I think it's really not that important, because now they will activate, they will attack anyway, and even with their +2 initiative that they would have had for the ambush, the preacher could boost the initiative of the gunslinger to 9, which would still be enough to go first. So I think no big deal here. So now let's see what the Hellbats do. They attack, I think, a random hero within range, if I'm not mistaken here. They can move 12, so that's definitely could be any hero here. They can fly, move through other models and change targets each turn, and they are nightmarish. For every hit done by a Hellbat, the hero also takes 1 horror hit. Now I'm not absolutely sure if the bug, yeah, seems like this adds up to the bug Venom. Is a Hellbat with the following. Okay, so let's see who gets attacked by the first one. So we roll a die and start with the Marshal, and then. So that is the Saloon Girl. So this guy moves here and attacks her. And then one of the other 3. Okay, now this is the Marshal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, he can actually move right here. Pretty impressive. And then it will attack the Marshal. So let's start with this one. Now they have a combat value of 5, which is definitely a problem. Yeah, +1 combat for the power of the void, and for the demonic forces another 1. Holy moly. Now let's see. And they hit on a 3. Oh gosh. Okay, 5 hits against the poor Saloon Girl. Now let's see. She's pretty good in defense, so let's hope for the best here. Okay, well, that was awesome. No damage for her. Very cool. Now it's the sheriff, the Marshal. That wasn't quite that strong, only 3 hits. The others were only a 2. So, oops, the Marshal also has a defense of 3. Yeah, fantastic, we made it. No problems here. So don't have to look up the rules for poisoning if I'm lucky. That would be cool. Okay, well, then the Saloon Girl can activate, and okay, now she can use her standard attack, 2 combat dice, and that was a hit. By the way, I'm going to roll for movement, I always forget that. Okay, no 1. And then she can roll for damage. Now that is a 2, but because of that it would be a 3, but I think they have an additional defense. Yeah, that's the case. So there is no effect here. By the way, this sucker gets 15 experience points for this spell. Now I wonder, he could do another spell here, but I think he doesn't do that. It's not, well, I mean, he could anyway. There is nothing to lose. Okay, he tries that spell. He needs an 8. And he's successful here. So that means that's an additional damage then for the Saloon Girl. And that kills this one. So that means now that the Preacher gets overall 40 experience points for these two spells, and the Saloon Girl gets 20. Okay, then it's the Marshal, and he uses again his shotgun, but first rolls for movement, and that is not that interesting, and now does the attack. Oh boy, now that was a miss. Okay, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna roll a second time, I guess. I'm not gonna use my grit here. On the other hand, no, I don't think I will do this. So then it's the Preacher, and okay, that's his movement roll, a 4, and that is good enough to move 1, 2, 3 spaces and attack the Bog Bat in close combat. So you can roll 3 dice here, and that is 1 success. So let's hope for the best. He needs a 4. Ugh. Well, that sucked. Okay, well, I think I'm done here. Okay, now this is the end of that turn. So let's see. We're going to roll for the depth track first, and we didn't make it. Oh boy, this is a real problem. So what can we do now? Well, the Gunslinger might go back, try to shoot this sucker. So he rolls for movement. Well, just a second, before we can try this, we have to activate again the Holy Speed to improve his initiative here. So we roll 2 dice and see if it works. And that wasn't the case, but now we can use the Missionary ability and re-roll 1 die. Oh god. Okay, so that didn't work out. Well, okay, I think I'm gonna live with that. Now, the Hellbat activates first, and she will choose a new target. Okay, that is the Gunslinger, and therefore she moves here and does an attack with 5 dice, which is pretty bad because the Gunslinger is not that great in defense. Okay, that was, well, that was to expect 4 hits. Let's see what the Gunslinger can do. Now, he has to roll a 5 or higher. And that was no success, but now he has his armor. And armor works in a way that if you would have taken a hit because your defense roll failed, you can roll again basically for each hit that went through your defense, and can roll again against this armor. So we have to roll. We have a second chance to roll a 5 or higher. Well, okay, at least 1 success here. I don't have any grit left, so I'm afraid I have to accept that. I take 3 hits, which are 3 damage, but now we gain a poison marker. Okay. Fine. Let's see what that means. Oh, shit. There we go. Okay, now this is one of the poison markers, as you can see. And I gotta check what that means. Okay, so that's not so terribly. On the start of each turn I gotta roll a die. On a 1 I take a wound. 2 to 5 nothing happens. 6 the poison goes away. I gotta do this for every single poison marker I have, but I'm quite confident that I won't get any more poison markers here. Okay, so that was the hellbat, and now it's time for the gunslinger to do his attack, and he tries again the dual wielding, rolls 5 dice, and these were 4 hits, and well, let's see how successful we are here. Okay, that is the 6. That's enough to kill this thing. Pretty cool. And that is then the end of the combat. So that's 20 points for the gunslinger. Then we can catch a breath. Okay, the 3 wounds go away. The saloon girl, yeah, I mean, obviously they can take away the sanity damage, and this is it. Now we're going to draw a loot card, or 4 loot cards, and see what we find. Okay, now let's see what we have found here. The gunslinger. Ah, great. A dark stone shard. The saloon girl. Whoa! Ah! Could have been an artifact, but it's only a gear because she's in another world. Still not bad, I hope. Let's see what it is. Knuckle dusters. Once per turn you may use 1 grit to gain +2 combat. Well, that could be pretty cool. She is a close combat girl, so that would be 4 combat, and that is pretty impressive, especially combined with the +1 damage here. Sadly, she doesn't have a grid right now, but still pretty good. Now, the US Marshal. Cash, $50. Well, it's kind of interesting that you find $50 in the swamps of Yagono, but I mean, it's a global currency, isn't it? So, and then the last one, great, $25. That sucks, but okay. So it wasn't that great, but okay, the challenge also wasn't that amazing here. Okay, now let's go to the next turn. Basically, there are only 1, 2, 3, 4 turns left. Or probably only 3 if we miss them all. Would be only 3 turns, because the last one would be this one here, the mine entrance. Well, we see. It's not very promising, but you can never be sure. I mean, it's possible that we find on the next tile the last clue token, and then, hey, who knows. So let's roll first. Whoa, that's good, but again, these are these stupid drums, and that is now a problem. We could either spend a grit or take a sanity. Basically D6 sanity damage. Okay, now it's important to really think about this. That's a tough decision. I think that the gunslinger, and by the way, the gunslinger has to roll for the poison. Let's take a black die here. Oh, cool, the poison goes away. That's nice. So, I think the gunslinger will actually take the damage. Well, obviously he will, because he doesn't have a grid. So will the saloon girl. Now the question is, what about these 2 guys? The US Marshal, the preacher. Okay, I mean, we have the healing stone. So maybe it makes sense to risk that. I mean, the preacher, he's pretty good in willpower. So maybe he can afford to take these the sanity damage, because if he has to take further sanity hits, you know, there might be a chance for him to survive that. And he also has a grit and a tonic. So I think they want to keep their grit in case there is some big final fight. So, yeah, I guess I'm going to do that. The gunslinger will take the damage. Maybe, yeah, that's what we do. The gunslinger takes the damage. Oh, great. 6. Holy moly. Okay. Saloon girl. That's a 3. That's fine. That's not too bad. She has a sanity of 14. So, yeah, that's not a big deal. And in addition, she's got that rune of darkness, which allows her to discard or to heal a sanity if that thing moves on, which will definitely happen. So, now the marshal, he's also gonna take the hits, and I'm gonna take a black die. Ugh, okay, these were 5. Now that ain't good. Okay, I got that healing stone, which I might use, but not right now, I guess. And then it's the preacher, and that's a 4. Okay, well, fine. Four. Well, it's definitely better than if the darkness had moved on. So I think, yeah, it wasn't so bad after all. Okay, now the gunslinger will move, and he's going to move back here so that these two guys are not too far away and can also catch up. So I got to remove this parts here. Okay, now let's see what we roll. That's a 4. That's not going to be enough. But anyway, I'm going to move there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now I'm counting a little bit on the saloon girl. I hope she rolls well. She's got a +1 for movement. So, yeah. Let's see. A 4, that's what she would need. That's what would allow her to explore the next tile. And she's got a 6. Pretty cool. So she moves now here. And then draws a card from the map deck. And that is... oh, shit. That's a long passage. Now that sucks. Okay, this goes on. And we cannot draw an exploration marker for that. Bad luck here. Okay, now I wonder, actually, if I should try to move here with these guys instead of moving there. It's definitely a shorter way. But, hey, I don't know. I mean, they're quite separated then. I think that's not the best idea. So, I still want to stay together with them and hope for a good movement roll with the others. So the marshal rolls a 2. Yeah, that's no good. Okay, well. Anyway, so, well, he's going to move here, I guess. And then the preacher... and by the way, this goes back. Oh boy. Well, that sucked. Okay, so they both end up here now. Yeah, that's great. Well, okay. Next turn. Let's hope for a good roll on the depth track. So this goes down once again, and we got to draw a darkness card. Eruption of the Dead. Bursting through the surface below, a horde of hungry dead surround you. Ambush attack. Oh boy. Yeah, that sucks. That's a real problem now, because we don't have time to do this fight, basically. They might not be that strong, but I think we cannot win that anymore. So let's roll how many hungry dead attack us. 3 and 4. Okay, that's 7. That could have been worse. Okay, let's place these guys first. Okay, so this is the situation now. The gunslinger is only attacked by 1, exactly by this guy here. The saloon girl is attacked by these 2. The preacher is attacked by these 2. And the marshal is attacked by these 2. Well, is that so? No. The preacher is attacked by this and that, and the marshal by that and that. So that's it. They have a +2 initiative, which brings them to an initiative of 3 or something. Yeah. Okay. And it's an ambush, yeah, of course. So, the gunslinger can do his shot, his quick draw, with the dead man's iron. And they have now a +1 against undead, which is really cool. So let's hope for the best here. Okay, these were 2 hits. Very good. Well, basically, we need a 4 to kill one of these guys. Okay, that's a success, and, well, let's kill this guy. So, that gives him 20 points, and this is it. I think I'm gonna upload this now, because I don't think the game will go on for very long anymore. I think these hungry dead are killed pretty soon, but there are only a few turns left here, so I think it's just enough for another video here. So yeah, hope to see you in the probably last video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.